Hey guys, today I want to share with you guys a comparison and a review, a short, quick review of these Grumbacher 12 opaque watercolors versus a very cheap set of watercolors that I got in 2015 and I've been practicing with because I'm not a huge watercolorist. Watercolor is still very new to me, and that is why I wanted to share with you guys the review and some thoughts on the way that these colors turn out. So just to give you a reference, this set right here that I'm pointing to with my brush was $7. I bought this in 2015 and I didn't even use them until maybe 2016, 2017. And I've just been playing with them recently more than I normally would. And I've grown to really enjoy using them. So this was like I said, $7. I just bought this Grumbacher set, and it comes with these 12 beautiful colors, and plus it comes with a free Chinese white shade. This is an opaque white, and it came with a brush. I'm just using this brush because I already have it, and I didn't feel like breaking in that brush yet. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to swatch all of these colors with you. Then I'm going to swatch all of these colors with you as well. The type of paper that I'm using to do the swatches with is not necessarily watercolor paper. I just want to see how well it can come up, the payoff of the color on kind of like cheapy paper, to really see how good it is, because I like to play with all different papers, and if I want to do a sketch, I still want to get somewhat of an accurate idea of what the color is going to be like on any type of paper. So let's get started. I already swatched this yellow, this orange, this, what does this color say? Light red. So this is light yellow, light orange, light red, and this is magenta. It was the last shade that I stopped with. And as you can see, these colors are pretty decent. I don't know if I didn't use enough water for this orange, or this orange is really kind of streaky like that on its own. So I'm going to go over this orange another time, and let's see what happens here, because it may have been my fault for the payout. So this 2 layers of the orange, and it actually turned out pretty beautiful. So let's move on to the violet. This is a violet. I'm filling this brush with paint. So, and I'm doing like a little circle, kind of overlapping the color as well to see if I can get a good payout. So that's a very beautiful violet. It looks like it has some pinks and magentas in it. It's not like super cold. It's a pretty warm violet, if that may help you out. I'm going to get a little bit more water to this. The next color I'm trying for you guys is ultramarine. As you can see, I'm really getting the color in there. I want to see full payout. Okay. This ultramarine is like a cool, it's not a warm blue, but it's pretty bright as well. Let's see how these colors, I'm curious to see how these colors dry down. This is a cyan, so this should be, I love cyan. That's becoming my favorite color as of lately. Ooh, that is beautiful. These colors are really pigmented. I'm happy about that. All right, now let's try, what is this? Sea green. This is a shade I'm trying right there. Oh wow, that's beautiful as well. That's very beautiful. All right, and now let's try, what is it? Leaf green. Making a circular shape. That's beautiful. Like I said, this is the opaque set. from Grumbacher. And this is yellow ochre. In my cheapie set, it did not come with the yellow ochre. I was only stuck with just like a light yellow. And I was really excited about having shades already made for me. That is a beautiful shade as well. That's very pretty. So as you guys can see, these are amazing color payoff. And they were not kidding when they said this is an opaque set. I'm very excited about this. The next color is burnt sienna. I think that's the last color. Well, second to last. I'm gonna make room because I want to put the cheapies and the expensive ones on the same palette. But that is the burnt sienna. These colors are so nice. Like these are a beautiful selection of colors. I'm so excited to plan out some paintings that I can put on my arches paper. If these are showing up this well on cheapie paper, I can imagine what they're going to show up on nice paper. And this is the black. So this is the last color. Trying to hold it down with my pinky. All right, and that is the black. So these are the beautiful colors that come in the Grumbacher Opaque. It's 12 color watercolor set. I'm not going to try the white because I'm not going to. I don't feel like it. But one thing I do want to try, I want to try another layer of this light yellow because that is pretty faint. I just want to see how well this paint does with the layering. Will it do any lifting? And as you saw, I was not being shy with the colors, with how much water I was using to really pick up that color. And I got a ton of color. So the yellow and the orange, light yellow, light orange, I used 2 layers of it and nothing lifted. And again, this is cheapie paper, like craft paper, you know, to give you guys an idea of the type of paper. So this was $17 and some change. And I'm so excited to use this. Now let's compare it to my cheapie set. That is, I destroyed. We're going to start with this red. I'm trying to use the colors that haven't been like ruined, I guess. I'm going to make these like log shaped. All right, so this is a magenta in my cheapie set. And you can tell already, this cheap magenta versus this magenta, it says a lot already. I'm going to be trying my cheapie yellow. All right. And keep in mind, these colors have to dry down as well. So that's the yellow. This is my cheapie orange. Okay. I'm going to do the red. So let's see what the red looks like compared. I added a little extra to that. And let's try my brown. I got like a burnt umber brown in my cheap set. So let's see what that does. You can see a pretty strong difference already between the colors. This is more like a sap green shade in my cheap set. And this is more like a leaf green that I'm trying next. As you can see, the colors are not that different. It's a very subtle difference. I'm next going to try the blue shade from my cheap palette. And this is more like a, it looks like a mix between like a cyan and an ultramarine, like a phthalo-ish sometimes, depends on how it's mixed. And I have a violet, so let's try out that violet in my cheap set. Okay. And the last shade is a black. So we're just gonna, all right, so this is the comparison overall. Keep in mind watercolors dry a little bit lighter as well. So these had a chance to dry and they're still as opaque as they were when I first applied them, which is insane. That is so cool. And my cheapies, as you can see, this is what I've been using for the past year and a half. And I think these are great for first timers, really understanding how watercolor works. And like I said, these were, I'm going to go into natural lighting as well. These are good for practice. I used them for practice for a year and a half. They have not done me any harm. As you can tell, I've been using these a lot. But they're not as bold in color that I would prefer. So, this is the colors in natural light. As you can see, the ones at the bottom, which are the cheapies, the more rectangular shapes, they're starting to dry more and more, and they're drying kind of flat. One thing I can tell you is they do not hold, they don't blend that awesome. Sometimes you really have to kind of force it to blend, and it can look kind of muddy or just weird. So I'm not going to show you guys in this video what these the top shades look like blended, because you know what, actually I just may do that right now. Let's try that. I'm going to do it, I'm gonna make a circle to show you guys. That's my messy desk. This is, I just made a quick circle. So let's see, let's mix, I'm going to mix the orange, red, and magenta to see how they fade into each other. Orange, let's really get it in there. And then let's get the red. Let's see what that does. How these blend into each other. Keep in mind, I'm doing this one-handed. Okay, and then let's grab the magenta, see what happens. Right now I can tell you that it's definitely blending into each other pretty nicely. Wow, that's very pretty. That's very pretty. Wow, it's like it wants to melt into each other. Let me zoom in closer so you guys can see. Okay, that's a pretty decent mix. I'm gonna take the orange and just drag it along. That's pretty. That's very pretty. That mixes really nicely. Let me take you guys into natural light. So that's a pretty decent mix. I did add a ton of water, so excuse that part. But you can't even see where the red, the light red and the magenta mixed. I mean, where it blends, because it did a pretty decent job at that. Keep in mind, the cheapy paper may have something to do with it. But the color isn't lifting as it's being mixed. It's the point I'm trying to make. And let's mix a red and an orange. As you can see, it's still pretty cheapy. Wiping off some of the excess water. In the cheapy brand, let's see, it will lift up the more layers. Like once this dries, it will lift up. And that blends pretty well, but like I said, it will lift up. So keep that in mind. And so take you back into the light. And it's still drying, but I'm excited to show you guys the color payoff from both of these palettes. Like I said, the cheaper brand, I recommend getting it for experimentation and just playing. I mean, you can do real pieces with it, but you have to be careful because the colors will fade. These are pretty much dry. The color payoff is pretty decent, but it's not as opaque as the Grumbacher brand. And this is the cheapies being blended together, and this is the Grumbacher being blended together. And yeah, I'm super excited to play with these colors and to show you guys artworks that I create with my new palette. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this was somewhat helpful. I'm not a watercolorist, but I did want to share with you guys my a quick review of just what the colors look like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was useful. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Ciao.